What's up, guys? I'm Tim Gettys. This is Game Over Greg himself, Greg Miller. Welcome to Kind of Funny Games. Today, we're doing another Let's Play. This time, we're playing Ratchet and Clank 2016, the reboot.
PlayStation
remake,
4.
PS4.
The movie tie-in that's part of a reboot of the... It's
the game that's based on a movie that's based on a game.
Parts of the original game are here and reimagined and yeah, that's what we're playing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We've seen this for years at this point, it feels like.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
But we're close now.
Nimbly bimbly thing.
April 12th, right? April 12th is correct.
Great.
That's the thing, is I got my cheat sheet. The game, April 12th. The movie, April 29th, it says.
Sounds perfect.
So they're getting it out there, doing it. Well, this, of course, a preview, test version of the game or whatever. This is where Sony said we had to start. So I played a whole bunch. I couldn't show you.
Okay.
But it's fun. It starts with Captain Quark. He's telling the story of somebody else, and he makes a joke about. He's like, you're talking. The guy comes in. He's like, the Ratchet and Clank game's getting shipped to me. He's like, oh, you mean the movie? And Quark's like, and the guy's like, no, I don't mean the movie. And Quark means, wait, they made a game based on my movie, based on my exploits.
That's great. I like that. So, right off the bat, this game is beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the most interesting thing it has going for it. Like, I remember back when the PS2 one came out. What?
I don't know. Yeah, that's Colin Moriarty question.
Yeah,
He'll tell you the whole goddamn thing. Oh, it's gone.
Maybe 2002. I remember at Blockbuster. All right.
Oh wow, yeah.
I saw it available for sale, and I didn't know much about it. I saw a couple screens in EGM. Jack and Daxter had come out, and it was not really my thing.
You're a monster.
I loved Crash, and so Jack to me was like, it wasn't Crash, So I was a little turned off by it. I've always been more of a Mario 64 guy compared to a Banjo-Kazooie guy.
Sure.
So I don't really like the whole exploration. I like more the linear platforming, stuff like that.
Okay.
So then I see this Ratchet coming out. I'm like, all right, that might
seems like it might be
a little more.
As the kids say.
Yeah, and this was made by the Spyro guys. I like Spyro, blah blah blah. Right. Then I see this game at Blockbuster, and I'm like, you know what? It was $40. Games back then used to be $50, but for some reason this was $40. It just came out.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot.
You're in.
I just bought it.
Like. Yeah,
bought it. There was, didn't know the reviews, didn't know anything. Bring it home, and I'm like, oh my god, this looks like Toy Story.
Back in the day, right? Now you look at them and they really do, right? That's always the thing is, I think, for me, I like Ratchet. Don't get me wrong. I love Jack and Daxter.
Yeah.
So I came, my appreciation for Ratchet was always there. I understood his place in history, right? But it wasn't until I think we got to the PS3 Ratchet games that when I started really getting into it, like A Crack in Time is amazing.
Yes.
And so playing that was the one where I was like, this looks like a cartoon, even then. And now it's that same thing we're gonna talk about, right? At least on PS I Love You XOXO every Tuesday at 9 a.m. That, what is this new generation going to be defined by? What is PlayStation 4, right? What are all these things? Because, Ratchet looks amazing here, right? You can see all the, individual hairs on his ears, but I remember being impressed with that on PS3.
Yep.
Now, granted, again, this looks amazing, and I'm like, well, it can't be that big of a jump. I'm sure if I went and compared them side by side, I would immediately see the fact of how different.
And also, this is a remake of the PS2 game.
Right.
So it is, when you compare it to that, it's it's ridiculous
night
and day.
And that's the thing is that they've added new things to this game that, it is not frame for frame recreation. They've gone through and changed stuff up. Something that's going to be familiar to Ratchet and Clank fans are going to be there.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of the weapons, but even though they've gone through and tweaked, done little things too. And plus, I was asking you before we started if you remember a card collection.
I don't think
because now I'm collecting cards.
Yeah, I don't think the
getting
other ones have that.
Here,
what's cool about Ratchet and Clank, and this is something that I've always been really addicted to in the game, and I think it's a good kind of just gameplay feature, is they really get you, they keep rewarding you, and you feel like you're constantly growing and evolving.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You want to level up all of your weapons, even if they're ones you don't know use that much, because you're like, all right, there's level 1, there's level 2, there's level 3. What? I might not like level 1, but maybe level 2 or 3 are more up my alley. And that feeling of the nuts and bolts just constantly flying at you, it feels good.
Yeah,
like
100%.
You want to go out of your way. It's like you see them over there, you're like, okay, well, I know I'm going this way, but I'm going to go over to that random door because I'm sure behind that door there's some crates that have some stuff.
They've always done a great job with Ratchet and Clank in terms of making you want to explore the environment, to double back the crates to get these things. But that was the first thing when you guys were going to do another Let's Play, I was getting to where I could capture from. And playing through and just going and then smashing the crates and seeing the bolts and being like, man, these bolts look awesome.
Yep.
Look how great those bolts look. You know what I mean? It totally is immediately, it's familiar, but obviously you can already see the changes that are taking place.
Yeah. It's funny, this is a totally random segue, but the other game that has that same feeling for me is Onimusha, which is another PlayStation 2 game that I would love to see on this one, because that style of game just doesn't really exist anymore. They're like constantly leveling up your weapons and getting that. Like the modern version is Borderlands. The modern version is the more like get loot type of thing. But this is it's more actiony, and I like that.
Yeah, this is definitely, it feels like a callback to what it used to be. You know what I mean? And it'll be interesting to see if people want that. You know what I mean? We haven't had a proper Ratchet and Clank game in quite some time.
Yeah.
And so, is the movie going to inspire new fans, or is the movie going to call out, people who have forgotten? Are they going to want to come out and play this? Like, having a new Ratchet game is cool. And then there was, all
that
this.
That looks so cool.
Right? There was, even like the lens flare effects are putting on the screen, right? Having that was bad. Having a new Ratchet game is a big deal for PlayStation gamers, right? But it's like, ooh, I gotta get this help. Alright. But does it matter anymore? You know what I mean? Does Ratchet still matter?
Yeah.
Is the movie gonna make it matter? Frick.
I mean, it was so tainted for so long because there's the PS2 games that were classic. Everybody loved those. Then when it made the jump to PS3 with Tools of Destruction, people were into it. You know, and it was that like, oh my God, the franchise is continuing, which is something when you're talking about platformers. Not all platform mascots made that jump.
Right.
Like Crash didn't make the jump from PS1 to PS2. Jack didn't make the jump from PS2 to PS3. Ratchet is the only one really in that kind of class. Why kind of did it.
But not in the same way, right? Like he took time off to get there, and then the Switch developers.
Exactly. But Ratchet just pretty much right out the gate comes out with Tools of Destruction, and it was just an awesome game. Yeah. Everything was just like, this is what the PS3 version could be. And then they did the Quest for Booty, which was the downloadable mini, smaller title. And to me, that was my first ever downloadable game. When I was like,
that was the first.
That.
I mean, it's hard to believe it now, but that was a big deal. That was the first like real quote unquote franchise that was doing that. Crack in Time was where it was at.
But I loved it. I loved that was a nice little segue. That was here's just a couple hour experience. I love the pirate theme. I loved that it was like, all right, it's this, but it's different.
Sure.
And then let me just level up my weapons and all that. And I had a lot of fun with it. It was definitely worth the $15 that I paid. And then Crack in Time came out, and man, that was just perfection. And I think that's kind of the issue is I can't even imagine doing better than that.
Right.
And so then they just started doing spin-offs and different things.
Well, yeah, it was. I mean, like it was an interesting time. It was an interesting strategy because it was all right. We are the only people who stuck around, but we don't want to shove the same game down people's throats. So can we take the property, the IP, the intellectual property that is Ratchet and Clank, and apply it to other things? Make different kinds of games under that platform. And it never really panned out. You know what I mean? And that is one of those interesting things. Now to get them back, but even this is a game so many people have had questions about because it has been confusing of like, all right, so it's the first game, but it's not. It's the movie version, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different things about it, let alone the fact that it had that $40 price point, which we're still in a point in time where a budget game doesn't scream like it's going to be a real experience. Right?
Yeah.
And so far, I mean, it looks great.
Yeah.
It plays well.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this is what Ratchet was in my head, right? But it's weird things like, okay, like, I shoot this guy, it's not, I'm on ammo right now, but when I was shooting that guy, right, he didn't have like an animation getting bumped back.
Yeah.
Right? He sits there and takes the damage. And then there was an earlier part where I was Clank and I was running at the camera with a guy chasing me, right? And it was like, wow, this is kind of slow and boring, you know what I mean? But like this part here, this is Ratchet, this is what I expect.
Yeah.
But then again, who's the audience for this? Is this audience for the people you and I who have grown up with Ratchet? Is it for the kid who goes and sees Ratchet and Clank the movie for the first time and is like, I've never heard of these guys and they're awesome.
I think it's that, like you'd have to imagine it's that. Something that's always been interesting to me about the franchise is the comedy of it, right? The style of it, and the whole thing is kind of like it's emulating a Pixar movie in more ways than one. Like it's not just kind of the look and feel of it; it's also the style of the writing and all of that. The main difference being Ratchet always kind of went 2 steps too far. But that was it's a compliment in saying that.
Yeah.
But 2 steps too far of I'm gonna make timely references that are referencing things that are happening right now. I'm gonna make jokes about MySpace. I'm gonna make jokes about things that make those games, that the writing's not good anymore. But at that time period with video games, it was refreshing that the narrative of the game was making jokes about stuff that
God damn it.
in real life.
There's always that nightmare where there's one guy still alive and where is he? And he's fucking, of course, the blind spot.
So I've always kind of appreciated that the franchise did that because games nowadays, especially with online tactics and stuff, that's commonplace. But the movie is, the same thing, where it's like I'm interested to see how that fares with the audience because from all the trailers, it looks like it's still doing that same thing.
Are you gonna play this?
Yeah,
Are you?
100%.
You're in the
I'm
mood
beating
for
this
another
game
Ratchet?
for sure. Like, this is my type of game. I
Yeah.
love this platform. And it's been so long since I played Ratchet 1. Like, I don't even really remember it. There's certain bits, but, like, looking at this and like
Yeah, like
yes,
what is different? Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, man, it's like it's not as hitting like just mashing the square button and the animations of him just like doing all the hits. Great.
Yeah, he ruined everything.
And of course then the weapons. Like they're just so much
Yeah.
fun and they're so
If only I had Mr. Zircon. with me
yeah.
right now.
This is Zircon's the homie and then of course the Disco Tron or
Oh,
whatever
yeah,
the hell
yeah.
it's called.
Groovitron.
Groovitron. Yeah, you just end up feeling like a badass.
Sure, especially as you power everything up, right, and level everything up. Buddy.
Thank you. I thought
I
we
do
were
remember.
done for sure. We are happy to be of assistance. Why is Dredd trying to kill you?
Hopefully they'll remake
It's
Secret
my
Agent.
nephew,
Next.
Skid
Oh yeah,
Marks.
that'll be the day.
Wait, Skid
That could have been a
Marks,
great
the
game.
pro hoverboarder?
Say about my review score, which was
He
not
sent
super
me
positive.
this info
but it
from
could have been.
Iridia, and the blog had
Clank
been
is the most
Secret
interesting
Agent
one out of him and Ratchet.
Not true.
Here, take
Absolutely
Clank's
not
awesome.
true.
He's a
Ratchet's
robot.
cooler. He's kind of
a
a dick.
robot.
Uncle Blackwash, Skid McMarks here. You know, your
He's
nephew.
no Skid McMark.
My agent and I are at
Sure.
the awesome grand opening of the McMark Sports Shack here on Iridia. And boy, is this been a trip. I've gotten to meet all kinds of people. Fans, celebrities, my Gadgetron sponsors. I even got to sign autographs for these odd-looking creatures called the Flarg. I guess they're doing something here on
Man,
Iridia.
he shouldn't have signed
Wait,
that.
hold on a second. Hydro Harvester, super illegal water displacement
words like I do in Colin
apparatus.
Moriarty.
I don't think I was supposed to have this.
Stop him! He's got the
He's
schematic!
gonna love this.
Yeah.
Help! Someone,
But
call
we're
my
adults.
agent. Call my publicist.
I mean, but see, that's the thing is, I will. I'll have fun with it. You know, I think
Are
it's
you
gonna
gonna
be.
beat
I'm gonna beat this game. I promise you,
You
I will
this
beat
game?
this game. I don't know. It depends on the button. Probably not
No,
though.
no.
Sounds like Skid McMarks is in trouble.
Bring up the map. See where Mr. Skid Marks is.
I wonder how hard the plot is.
We
on
gotta
this
get to
guy.
I do
Iridia.
too.
Probably pretty
Agreed.
complicated.
But we must
Probably.
first
You
Probably
gotta
some
upgrade
bullshit where it's like,
everything and do
Got like
everything.
hoverboard race thing. It's
Let's see if we
probably
can
you know,
find some help.
way too complicated with that.
No.
Collect all the cards. You know,
Yeah, exactly. The card packs, which I still don't fully understand. But it's early in the game.
Yeah.
By a furry hero and his robot friend. I will now resume regular office hours, which is every third Tuesday from 10 to 10:30.
and the music too. Like it's Baroque.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
the game is doing the right things here, brother. Going back to where I was. Go back.
Uh-oh. There he is.
Yeah, I don't think he has anything for me. I don't think I'm supposed to. Like he's just like, you know,
Yeah.
Island of Misfit Toys guy. We've blown up that.
Yeah, I like it when you get your power up when you can do that slide jump where you run forward and the little
Sure,
helicopter thing
sure.
goes.
The objective's over there.
Okay.
Ah, the
okay.
floating dish thing, right. Forgot about the old floating
Yeah,
dish.
the old floating dish.
Who could forget
This
floating
is
dish?
definitely a
the classic,
PS2 gen.
the classic Ratchet and Clank character, floating.
Yeah. A lot
I
of
kind of want to go in there. I don't think I have to.
But there
I
you go.
probably
That's
do.
the Ratchet and Clank special.
No, I don't.
Look out.
Oh god.
A little bit of precognition on that.
Yeah.
That's why Clank's the homie. He's
Yeah.
the better. He's the better than Ratchet
Right, I
because
mean,
he
he
knew
knows
things were
what's
about to
happening.
happen. He's
I
like-
really enjoyed the Clank gameplay in Back in Time.
Oh yeah.
Like weird puzzle segments.
The time travel or
Yeah.
whatever, not time travel, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Rewind in time. Right?
Chaos, and I love it. Oh, there you go, the wall jumpy thingies.
Ratchet jumped and jumped and seriously, what's with all the jumping?
It's telling the story. Shut up, Kevin. Why? Why? What if I want to whisper for a dramatic effect? Maybe you should lower the game. Maybe you should do your job. and you know, help your talent make a better video.
Somehow that's right.
But it's Ratchet. You know
It
what I
is
mean? Like,
Ratchet.
that's the thing as I play it. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Like I could see.
I mean, also,
much hours
this
into
is
it.
early Ratchet. It's already this fun. You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
I killed
oh.
him. I got killed him.
Yeah, you came winging with that.
Oh boy.
A little disappearing.
Alright,
animation is cool. Oh yeah, you about to get it.
Maniacally with those bolts.
You need the bolts,
Get
man.
my cards.
And it's that thing with they're timed and they disappear after that number of time. It's like that's the drive of this game. Get to those nuts before they disappear. Kind of like a weird metaphor for my life. Reminds me of Jedi Power Battle.
I can see that. Another classic game.
Yeah.
The classic DNA of Ratchet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, turtle.
I was gonna say it, right? That's
They
the
look
thing
like
I'm
the
aiming at
Mousers.
too.
One. We're seven of you.
We're no longer.
Here we go, this guy. I'm gonna fix your shit. I'm
Look at that
fixing
ass.
nasty pants.
Oh, hello there. I'm glad you're here. I've been... Hey, have we met before? Because I'm getting a touch of the old deja vu.
I don't think so.
This is the movie and the
I
game.
guess the old think tank could use a good plumbing. Anywho, I've been trying to get a distress call to the Galactic Rangers ever since
You wanna call it here?
Drex showed
I
up.
don't wanna be giving away too much of this game.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna skip through the cutscene, but whatever.
No.
Whatever.
Let's talk over the cutscenes. That's the people's favorite thing, right? Let me know in the comments below how much you like seeing us talk over cutscenes. Until next time, I'm Tim Gettys. This is Greg Mill. I keep
That's
going
me.
for the game over Greg.
That's weird. Why are you
It is
suddenly
weird.
doing that?
I don't know.
That's a
It's
new
like
thing.
stuck in my
We've
head.
been together a long time.
Long time.
April 12th,
YouTube.com.
this game.
That's kind of funny games.
hello there.
April 12th.
I'm
April
Alonso
29th, the
Drek,
movie.
chairman
Or
of Drek
Amazon or
Industries.
wherever you buy
Digital.
games.
Just start buying
Many of you
everything
may be
digitally, will you?
wondering,
Movie,
why
like
are
on
300
theaters.
heavily
Probably
armed
not
war
doing
bots
digital.
marching ominously
I actually
towards a
wonder,
Class
maybe?
G dread
Maybe.
ship?
If so, PlayStation.
I mean, is this you're
PlayStation
telling me
3.
that the Ratchet and Clank movie is getting a giant
Years
release
ago, we
everywhere?
were driven underground by
It's like that real?
I
May
hope
or may
so.
not, but most definitely
Right?
was.
Oh, I don't even know how to check movies. That's
If
the
it's-
thing
if
about
it's not,
movies. It's
then
like
it's-
games, I can tell you a million sites to go to.
Robotics.
And then you come to a movie, you're like, I don't know what the hell.
Focus features. I
Now
don't
that
know.
our
Focus on
project
me.
is nearing
In
completion,
theaters
we must
2016.
do
Now, I'm not
everything
arguing the fact that it's
possible
coming
to
to
stay
some
on schedule.
theaters. Is it going
In
to
this
every
case,
theater?
It means our
You know what I mean?
friendly
Let's go
army
to the
of
Wikipedia
warbots
picture.
must vanquish those who
Ratchet
would
and Clank
seek to
film.
stop us. Good news?
TJ Miller wrote it, we know. Or not,
We're
TJ Fixman
coming.
wrote it. TJ
So
Miller is the
sit
guy from
back,
Deadpool.
relax,
TJ
and
Fixman is
take
my friend.
comfort in the knowledge that Drek Industries is
Oh, yeah,
working
wide release
for
on April
you.
29th. That's a real, initially planned for, oh wait, hold on. Okay, yeah. April 29th. Wide release, United States. Huh.
We'll get you squared away and
Yeah,
ready to fly.
they're going big.
John Goodman is in it.
Oh yeah, Bella Thorne's in it.
Rosario Dawson's in it.
I like the James Arnold Taylor still Ratchet. Like, if I'm happy they didn't mess with that stuff.
Sure.
They didn't go
Sure,
Hollywood
sure.
and get like,
Does look like the fastest
I
way
don't know.
down.
Sly
Let's give it a
Stallone's in it.
shot.
Oh, it's like a real movie. I'm surprised.
yeah.
I
Go
thought,
watch
I thought it'd be in theaters for sure, but I thought it'd get like day one PSN as well.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, everybody's gotta go to the theater.
Adios.
Muchachos.